I'm Keith Berner of Accu-Force Dynos and Testers. I'm here today to introduce our new touchscreen model of our Spring Smasher. We've had a lot of customers that have loved our USB and standard models over the years, and we've upped it one more to make an automated touchscreen model. We're going to run it through real quick and show you what it can do, and also kind of as an instruction video for it. First thing, when you turn it on, you're going to come to this screen. You're normally not going to have to go to the setup screen. It'll delete complete files and things like if you're going to sell your machine. So you're just going to hit this anywhere on the screen. It'll bring it up. You have three choices here. The first screen it's programmed to go to is this auto screen. You can also go to the manual screen, which makes it just like it was before. It has center to center wheel load. You can add your travel distance. You can zero your travel distance like you did before. And you can also do an offset load, which it'll zero whatever. So this makes it work just like your old standard or USB model did. I doubt if you're going to use it a whole lot, but it is there, and there will be things you'll use it for. But you're going to find that because you bought this machine, you're going to use it on this auto feature more than anything. What it enables you to do, it lets us store up to 50 preset tests in here, and then once you run the test, you can have up to 200 files stored right on the machine. The great part of these preset tests are that if you have a number of different right fronts or you're working on different race cars, you can go in there and put the parameters of that test, save it, and you don't have to remember the numbers. You just go back to it and run the test. We're going to do we happen to have a left front on here. We'll just do a left front test. So if I was in here and I didn't have any, I'd go anywhere in this box to my presets, and I would tap that, and it lets me set my different parameters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide which preset I want to call this. I'm going to go in here, and if I wanted to do that, I could scroll it, or if I'm way far away from it, I can hit this preset number and say I want to be on number 25. I can hit enter, and it takes me clear to 25. So we're going to use that. We're going to say, okay, 25 is our preset for this particular test. We'll describe it right now. We'll call it our left front, space, test. I hit enter again. So I'm left front test on preset number 25. I can go in either 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, or 1/2 inch increments. I'm just going to leave it on 1/4 inch. Being a left front, I'm going to say my start position was 16.250. I hit enter. If you noticed, I just hit in the middle of the box. I can do how far we want to compress it. I can either do it in a distance or position. So I'm going to say I want to compress it 2 inches, which it would automatically do the math. If I come down here and press position, that would tell me 2 inches was 14.250. Now, one of the things we've done is this always has to be in an equal increment to what our data step is. In other words, it has to be 1/4 inch increments so that we can catch all the data points. It will round it up or down if you don't do that. So if you ever see that and wonder what's going on, it's because it has to be in the increments you're choosing. So right now we have to be in either 1/4 inch increments at this point, or if we went to 1/8, it would be in 1/8 inch increments. It has to be within that. The other thing we've added to this test now is because it's the left front, if you wanted to look at it and rebound, you can go down here and at any point tap this box and add a rebound test. So in other words, we know our start position, which is kind of like our wheel load, or not our wheel load, but our ride height position. And we're going to go here and be able to rebound from that point. So I'm going to say, okay, let's do 2 inches of rebound. I hit enter. So it would also tell me a position if I wanted. It's going to go start at 16.250. We're going to compress it 14.250, and our rebound test is 18.250. If we don't want that test in there, we just hit this disable rebound. But since we do want it in, I'm going to leave it there. So we're good. We have a target number here. This target number, the only thing it does, it's a place to store our wheel load number. It doesn't do anything. It won't run it to that number or anything that way. It's just a place to store it so we don't have to go look in our notes. So I'm going to say it's a left front. I wanted it 740. I'm going to hit enter. So now we got a target load number. In other words, that was 740 when we did this originally. And that's our test. So we're going to save and exit now. When we go to run our test, we got a couple things we can do beforehand. If we don't know that our wheel load number is right, we can move it to start position. So I'm going to do that. As you see, I just went down there and moved it. It should run this thing to plus or minus 5 thousandths of our target. So our target or start position was 16,250. And this is a box now showing you our data. Our data step was, quarter inch. Our test will compress it to 14,250. Rebound test of that, target load. So we're within 2 thousandths. We're within 3 pounds of our target load. So that's telling me I'm probably good to go. I could run the test now. If it wasn't, I could hit this unload spring. It would let me unload it, adjust it to where I want, move it back to start position. At the completion of the test, when I hit start, it's going to have 3 options. It'll either go to hold position, which means it would hold it at the farthest compression point. We can return to start position or unload the spring. So if you think you are good and aren't going to have to adjust anything, or know you're going to have to adjust anything, you might hit unload spring. I'm going to leave it on return to start. So the other thing now, before I do a start, it's going to come in here and I'm going to say start test. It asks me if I want to override this file. Like I said before, there's 200 files you can do. I'm going to say no, I don't want to overwrite this, so I can come in here and choose a different file. So I can scroll, same as the other one. I can either scroll up or down to an empty one, or if I find one I want to overwrite, we can do that. Or I can go here and just put a file number in. I'll just say, like before, 25. Hit enter. There's nothing in 25, so I'll go OK. Now I'm ready to start the test. There's my what it's going to gather for data. So we know where we're doing at the end of our test. I'm going to hit start test. At this point, because we had a rebound test in it, it's going to drop it down to that position, 18.250, and it's going to run it clear to 14.250. The same thing with this 18.250. It has to be in an increment of what you're catching your data in. It's got to be an equal number to that, just like the compression one was. We've now ran our test. We saw it was pretty fast. We've got our data. We've got a 0 point of, if we look down through here, 0 is 16.250. We have, minus travel distance and positive travel distance. So at that point, if it's what we want or what we want to look at on a graph, we can come over here and look at it on the graph. It's asking if I want to overlay the graph. So in other words, do I want to take this information and overlay it? I'm going to say yes. This is showing us graph. It's got grid on it. We can look at 4 graphs at one time. We just go in here to setup and look at, like we're number 1 right now. We can go here. We can scroll up and down or find what one we want. We can say, this isn't going to be good because it's not close, but I'll say okay. You turn it on. Hit exit. And it's showing us 2. Now, because they're not the same, one was a right front and one a left front, it's made it different, so it's not telling you a whole lot. The other thing it does up here is it shows you, all 4 will be listed up here at what you're looking at. So we can exit out of the graph. At this point, we can also change how we look at the graph. We've got a number of different choices. We can look at it center to center, travel distance versus offset, or wheel load, just by hitting the different buttons. Once we've changed and have it like we want it or think we want it, we can hit exit and go back and look at the graph. If we're happy with what data we've gotten there, we can go in here and describe this thing. So it was left front, space, test. I'm going to hit enter. The other one you probably want to get in the habit of right now is saving the data. If it's something that you want, hit save data. These boxes change colors when you do that. The reason you want to get in the habit of doing that is because it will overwrite that file. It'll ask if it wants to overwrite it, but if you happen to turn the machine off before you've saved the data, you've lost it. It'll go back to the previous data that was in there. So you need to save that. After 5 minutes, it does automatically save it, but I would tell you it's better to get in the habit of doing that. At this point, we would save it to the USB drive. We just hit USB. We happen to have a drive in there. It's telling us we're ready to write, and you'd hit write. Write successful. We can hit exit. So now we can run that over to our computer. This is just exactly like the USB model that way. If you have any questions on that, I would tell you to go to our USB instruction manual on our website. It's same template. It does it on Excel. The only difference at all is when you go to the overlays with this machine is that you have to toggle between the boxes, between a graph box and the data box. You'll see a little box to toggle between, but I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. So it is pretty simple. The other thing we probably see more than anything on questions about the USB going to exporting it to the computer is people try to do it. It has to be on genuine Excel. It's got to be on Windows-based format. It can't be on a Mac. So you can't bootleg an Excel or do anything like that, or it does not work. So if you watch that video, I think you can get through that part of it. This is a quick overview on this. One of the reasons people are using it now, probably more than anything, is that we've went from static load like on your scale to dynamic load. So this really gave you a lot of information really fast on that, on dynamic modes. What's it doing when that's all happening? I think you'll find that you're going to see things you didn't see before because we probably, not that we were lazy, we just didn't take the time to look at all these different numbers at quarter-inch increments. I've had a lot of customers who have been very loyal to us in the past, loved our equipment. We've had a lot of great comments about this new touchscreen unit. We really look forward to working with new customers, and we really appreciate our old customers and how much they've helped us grow our business. Thank you very much.